everyone, had a good weekend. This is my video of Through the Cracks. I had read this book several years ago when I had first started teaching, and there's some similarities in what I've seen being a teacher, having been a student, and still being a student at the college level, that I see these things still occurring, and it's quite frustrating to me as a teacher and as an instructor. The first question I'd like to address is where she says, compare the schools you attended. I went to school, I graduated in 90, so in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, this was school to most students. We had a tendency to get called out based on academic performances, and those of us that were lucky enough to be in above level courses didn't have this type of situation. I had taken the John Dewey class with Dr. A, and I quite enjoyed it, and I learned by doing. Most of us are kinesthetic learners, and seeing what that Stella and Christopher went through in the book, sitting, writing, not doing anything, it drives me crazy, and I still see that at the college level. And I have students complain because we talk about it all the time, and that's why we're constantly up and moving around in my class. But once again, this was just expected when I was growing up. We sat there, we listened, we took notes, we didn't talk. We're the compliant student, which as an adult I'm not so compliant anymore with my instructors, and I have a tendency to upset a few when I'm in class because I ask questions now and question their thought processes as well. Once again, it differs just because of when we were in school, we actually had the opportunity to be called out. So, yeah, I don't agree with that. I think everybody needs to be up moving around. Ideal school-wise, the very beginning part of this book was not my ideal situation. Going back to John Dewey, it's experiential learning, and I wholeheartedly believe that. You can't learn something if you're not experiencing it. And these kids were not experiencing anything but boredom. And towards the end of the book, I think that's what school should look like. You need to be up moving around, doing what you need to do. As I tell the student, I teach student success class, and as I tell them pretty regularly, you know, you can know, most of them are going into nursing, like you can know how to give me a shot, but unless you've done it, you won't know how the experience is for yourself or for the patient. And I'd rather them have experience giving other people shots before they give them to me. So, experiential learning, not my ideal school in this book. The other statement, how does this curriculum contribute to an ideal school? Or how does the curriculum, I think, and I see, I've been through a lot of curriculum changes. The last one when I left public school was, trying to remember what it's called now. And I know I hear a lot about core curriculum, and man, I can't believe I just went brain dead. It's just cookie cutter curriculum does not work. You have a lot of teachers, I feel, that can bring a lot to the table, and your students as well, and we don't ever talk to the students about what they want to do because that doesn't fit into our curriculum. See scope. See what happens when you get older, you forget things. That was the last curriculum I was involved in, and I despised it. I felt so limited, and honestly, I did chunk it about 3 months into it. I think the whole science department did. And we got up more, did things more, and our scores went up at the end of the year. The math department kept using it, and their scores actually went down when the tax test came around. So, a curriculum has to be well developed. I think it has to have students in mind as well as the teachers. I don't like talking the whole time. I don't like doing lecture and sending them on their way. I want the students to be involved. They're paying for it. They need to be involved. Same thing in public education. Somebody's paying for it, and those students need to be involved. They need to be out doing something. I have a saying, and I'll end on this. When your butt goes numb, your brain gets dumb. And I am a full believer in that. And John Dewey, experiential learning. Thank you.